Aloha everybody, welcome to part 3 of Sonic 3D Blast. We've now entered Spring Stadium, which is, I guess, our bumper, pinball, crazy spring area. And, I'm gonna go into more reasons why I hate the Sega Saturn version of the game.
Shut up!
Okay. I'm gonna stop talking about the Saturn version, because apparently a lot of people get upset when I badmouth it. Or at least they can't handle an opinion, I don't know. Look, guys, I'm not a bad, ill-mannered person by nature. I don't hate the Saturn version that much more than the Genesis version. I already stated I don't like the Genesis version all that much either. They're both the same game, gameplay-wise, you know? I'm just telling you why I prefer the Genesis version. That's my opinion, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So anyway, Spring Stadium has a lot of these you can tell by the floor there's a lot of spikes that pop out, and basically it's like if you stand where the spikes pop out for a long period of time, they will eventually poke you and kill you. You can run along the holes and manage to outrun the spikes. Well, that's not true. You can at least stand on the platform where there are spikes for like, let's say 5 seconds. Not 5 seconds, 2 seconds at most, and then they'll get stabbed. So you want to, if you're on the spike platform, immediately jump off because you're gonna get hit. There's lots of bumpers all over the place to bump you all over the room. There's lots of downward slopes and stuff. And I think the problem with Spring Stadium, one reason I really don't like this level is the fact that, well, it's just a really confusing maze kind of area, you know? Like, you just look at this mishmash, and it's just such a disorienting mess. You can actually get dizzy playing Spring Stadium, I found. I mean, it's just colorful and yellow and blue and red, and it just, you never know where to go, and that's what I hate most of all, because you have to use springs to get through the level, right? Which means you're constantly getting higher and higher and higher and higher through the level. And sometimes you just don't know what direction you should be going in, and you don't know where you should be looking for flickies, and some of the flicky robot guys that you have to destroy are a lot smaller. I hate the puffed up purple blowfish type robots in this level. There's another Tails, in case you're curious. But I hate the purple blowfish type robots because they can blend in with the spike platforms pretty easily, and sometimes I'll miss them just because they're so thin and they're so small on screen that I can tend to miss the puff-up robot guys. I'm sure they have an official name, but I never memorized Badnik's names, you know. I love the Sonic series, but I've never been a big stickler when it comes to enemy names and memorizing all that stuff, you know. I know that sounds weird, but like, I know some of the basic ones, like in Sonic the Hedgehog 1, I know the first guys are Motobugs. I know the monkey on the trees in Sonic 2 is Coconuts. I know Grounders in Aquatic Ruin Zone in Sonic 2. I know that the enemy Knuckles faces in his playthrough of Sonic 3 and Knuckles is Egg Robo. I know there's Mecha Sonic and Metal Sonic, but it's like, as for every other Badnik, you know, I never bothered to look up their name and memorize everything. Oh, I know Slicer's in Sonic 2 as well. Slicer, and Orbinaut, the spike guy, yeah. I know a few of them, but like, and I think the fish that jump out from the bridge areas are chompers, you know? This is just my confession video that, like, we're almost ending the classic Sonic series here, folks. When we enter the modern Sonic era of gaming, Badniks are going to be disappearing for a while. Not forever, because obviously with the newer games, Colors and Sonic 4, they kind of return. Yeah, Colors in Sonic 4 are pretty important to the Sonic series, huh? But, yeah, I just never really memorized Badnik names, and if you memorize the Badnik names, cool, that's awesome, but I just never, ever did. You know, I never looked it up in the instruction manual, and I never thought, like, oh, that penguin from Ice Cap Zone definitely has a name, like, and that name is, no, I'm sure he has a name, but I never bothered to memorize it. So if these 3D Blast robots have names, sorry, I don't look them up, you know, Badniks are Badniks, enemies are enemies. But, I digress. I'm just going off into a tangent because Spring Stadium is a disorienting mess with spike balls that float all over the place and spike platforms and springs that just send you all over the place. I think Sonic 3D Blast probably would have benefited from keeping the homing attack, but like not making it a special ability. Like, I'm glad all the modern Sonic games kept the homing attack as a thing that would stay with the series forever. Or not. I don't think the homing attack makes the games better. Some people complained about Sonic 4 having the homing attack. What I'm saying is, like, when it comes to platforming and hitting enemies, it's really great. And, you know, I wish it wasn't a power-up in 3D Blast, basically is what I'm getting to. Like, you have to find the yellow shield item, and the stupid thing about the yellow shield item is if you're going to Knuckles or Tails and giving them rings for the Chaos Emeralds, and then you go into the Chaos Emerald level, when you come back out, your yellow shield is gone. Like, you don't keep it. Like, if you visit Tails or Knuckles, then obviously you're willing to give up your shield because it's gone when you leave. I like that Tails and Knuckles are in the same area this time around. It's like they're hanging out, you know. Yeah, you think we should help Sonic and defeat some of these badniks? Nah, he's got it. Alright, whatever. But a homing attack would be great for the entire game, you know? Not just as a shield that you find along the way. I mean, granted, I'm taking out these enemies no problem, but still. Actually, I will give one compliment to the Saturn version. I do like the graphical change in Spring Stadium. In Spring Stadium for the Saturn, they do add a whole bunch of Eggman balloons and Eggman signs. So it's implied that Spring Stadium is supposed to be Eggman's theme park or something. Which is, I guess, means that Eggman built this place in Flicky Island, and that it's not something that was originally here from the get-go. Because Eggman loves his theme parks, he loves making a big shrine in his honor, and you know, that's a characteristic of Eggman we're going to be seeing a lot with the modern games. Sonic 3D Blast pretty much paved the way for a lot of ideas that would stick with the series forever. It may not be the greatest game in my opinion, but it did keep a lot of ideas that would continue on for the rest of time, you know. That being, we're taking Sonic to the third dimension, that we're going to have a homing attack, and we're going to reuse the theme from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the victory theme, because this is the same victory theme from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and we're going to be using it for the future games in the series. The da 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 da. It's a great theme, no doubt, but you know, just saying. I kind of like the Sonic 1 and 2 victory theme the best, but that's just me. Anywho, folks, Eggman is here. He's got some claws. He likes to hover around and float down and keep smashing the ground. He can't actually hit you with those claws before he floats down, though. Like, his arms go low enough that they can hit Sonic in the head. Basically, you're just running around. He falls down in the same amount of time all the time, so you just wait 5 or 6 seconds. He'll dump down, and you just smash his dome. Make sure you have a ring at all times. Try not to hit the borders of the level because the spikes will kill you. And there is a spring up there, but it's never really a good idea to go on the spring because obviously when you hit the spring, you don't turn into a ball form. You just go up. And if you go up and you land on Eggman, you're not going to hit him. You're going to hurt yourself. So I try to stay away from the springs. It's not too bad. I mean, all he's really doing is ducking down and you hit him to his dome. It's just, you have to watch out for the claws as they're dipping up and down while he's chasing you, because he's always following you at all times. But otherwise, Eggman's pretty simple. Booyah! And lucky us, because I'm not doing Chaos Emerald levels anymore, I can now do 2 zones in one video! Welcome to Diamond Dust Zone. It has a fantastic song, a freaking fantastic song, which you may have heard in a particular DS RPG known as Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. However, it sounds so much better here than it does in Sonic Chronicles. Yeah. I'm probably not going to play Sonic Chronicles on the account of it's an RPG and I can't really emulate DS games at all. It's one of the common things I get is, hey, are you going to play Mega Man ZX? Are you going to play Mega Man ZX? No, I can't record it. I can't play it. Like, my computer is just shit, and like anytime I try to play ZX, it always comes off as way too freaking slow, and it's too choppy, and the frame rate's shit, and it's always skipping the music, and like that's just playing it, right? But if I try recording it, well, first there's 2 screens to record, and I can never get 1 screen only to record, and you know, it's just a hassle recording DS emulators, and I'm not gonna be doing it. Not until I get, like, the best computer in the world, or until DS emulators become so good that, you know, it's possible to do, for me. And, you know, I'm not going to be playing DS games in the future. I'm sorry. There's no plans to play Sonic Rush. There's no plans to play Sonic Colors on the DS. There's no plans to play Sonic Chronicles. And, you know, people who always ask me to play a DS game like Mega Man ZX, like, finish the Mega Man series, Clement, do Mega Man ZX. I'm just like, no, I can't. I have nothing against the ZX games, it's just I can't record them. But anywho, folks, this is Diamond Dust Zone. There's Tails. There's plenty of opportunities to get the Chaos Emeralds, but, you know, I still prefer the... I love this snow river thing. Like, I guess, like, what is with the snow river here? Is there a small avalanche going on or something? Like, there's just a pathway of a stream of snow that's moving in one particular direction. It's kind of silly, but hey, we're not going for realism. We're talking about a world which has loop-de-loops that form for no freaking reason. And is that a skeleton of a polar bear in the background? That's pretty bizarre and morbid. But the soundtrack here is freaking awesome. I love Diamond Dust's music. I do like that one little touch, though. Like, the snowman enemies, they have flickies inside them, but because this is an icy-themed level and the floor is slippery, oh god, 3D platforming with a slippery floor, or at least isometric slippery platforming. That sucks! But, I do like that the polar bear enemies, or the snowman enemies, rather, have flickies inside them, but the flickies are encased in a block of ice. So, like, when you destroy the snowman enemies by jumping on them, the flicky in an ice cube shows up. So it's like... I hope that flicky isn't dying of, like, hypothermia or something. Like, I hope that flicky's okay. Because he seems to be encased in a block of ice, and I'm sure that can't be healthy for you. But, you know, what do I know, right? I do like that you can smash through those spikes with the spin dash. You can't jump on them, obviously, but you can spin dash through them, which makes the spin dash more powerful and epic, and it's good to spin dash through spikes every now and then, you know? The snowmen can suck a dick, though. And yeah, because this is a Diamond Dust Zone, I already mentioned this, but like the floor is slippery, so like you really gotta watch your platforming a little bit. Try and jump as often as you can, because you're not slippery when you jump. Because sometimes you'll accidentally slide into something you don't want to slide into, like the spikes, like the snowmen. And it can be a bit annoying platforming-wise. And up here is Tails again. I'm just showing you a whole bunch of different locations for Tails and Knuckles because, you know, if you're not playing the Genesis version, you need to find as many as you can, obviously. Yeah, I got a confession to make about Sonic 3D Blast, though. It's like, every game in the series I played to death when I was a kid, and I beat all the way through. And all the 3D games I played all the way through. And Sonic 3D Blast, I don't think I've ever beaten this game until 2008, 2007. And it's like, I've been playing it since 1996. Like, when it first came out in the Genesis, I went over to a friend's and played it, and I got bored of it, and I just said, screw this, I'm done. Because I got to Rusty Ruin Zone, and literally the second act was like the end point for me. I was like, platforming is so awful, you know what, I'm done, I don't like this game, it's not like the other Sonic games, so I'm not a fan of it, blah blah blah. And even when I got, like, Sonic Mega Collection in 2004, it's like I'd play 3D Blast, I'd get bored of it, and I'd be like, ugh, screw this game. It wasn't until, like, one day at the end of my high school run where I was finally like, you know what, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna play 3D Blast, I'm finally gonna finish this game. And then I finally finished the game, and I was just like, Jesus. Like, there's no motivation for me to play this game because I just don't like the gameplay all that much, you know? Like, this game's not technically bad like a X6 or a Sonic 06. It's just boring, and it's just not fun to me, you know? But that's just me. Anywho, here's Eggman, once again, being the same kind of boss. He dips down, he'll drop a bomb that you can easily destroy with the spin dash. He has some ice... I don't want to say flamethrowers, but ice blasting things that will freeze you in a block of ice. For the most part, you can jump over it when you're far away enough from him, or he won't shoot it in your direction when you're attacking him. And Eggman's not too bad. He drops snowmen, he dips down, you jump into him. Not really that complicated. But yeah, those two zones were kind of good. See you in part 4.